Hello, guys. Welcome to the Pitchfork Podcast, late edition for October the 22nd, 2021. If you guys like the stream, hit like button, hit share button. Make sure you share the screen with other people. Let other people know that I run this podcast for you because I'm going to be running it tonight and we're going to be having a great time. We got a full show for you tonight. Full show. And there are some exceptional cases that I think you guys need to see. I'm going to say that for you again. There are some exceptional cases that I think that you all should see. It is quite incredible, some of the things that goes down. Share that out. It is quite exceptional, the things that go down. Quite exceptional. If you understood some of the corruption, blatant corruption that happens in plain sight, in plain view, I think you would begin to understand why I get so frustrated with police officers. All right, none of your business says, hashtag overturn Terry v. Ohio. Yes. Amen. Hey, Cat, what's going on, Nunya? What's going on? Hey, the first story is going to be wild. Nunya, check out this story. It's going to be wild. I think this story is right up your alley. So, it has gotten parody, folks. They are now attacking the people who make the donuts. Oh my God. All right, let's get into this first story. This first story is a wild one. This is a doozy. So this wild story comes from Philadelphia. It comes from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Reinstated Philly cop fired for beating Dunkin' Donuts worker charged with a new assault. Joseph Marion, who was reinstated after his 2015 assault charge, faces termination again. Police say his gun fell on the ground during a fight. So do you understand what that means? That means that this man has been twice fired for assault. He actually beat an assault charge in 2015, and now he has a new additional assault charge in 2021 because he decided to go and beatbox a Dunkin' Donuts employee. Folks, we have reached parody levels with this stuff now. They are now attacking the very people who make their donuts. Do you understand the levels of parody, the levels of donut article, the freaking levels of national Florida man that we have reached now? This story is goddamn ridiculous. I don't care how many bootlickers try to slice it, dice it, or bullshit about it. There is no reason why any citizen in 2021 should be reading the goddamn headline that reads, "A cop has been fired not once, but goddamn twice, and the second time involved donuts." I mean, goddamn, even the Onion couldn't write a better headline than this shit, right? What the fuck do you do with this? This isn't just funny anymore. This is goddamn ridiculous. How are you fired twice for fucking assault when you are a cop? I just, help me understand this shit. Help me. I'm like Kevin Hart right now. Help me. What the fuck is this? And I guarantee you there are bootlickers out there who are gonna make excuses, who won't focus on this goddamn case. A clear case of a bad cop. Holy shit. But I guarantee you won't see this talked about on Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, donut operator, especially not donut operator, which is very ironic given the headline here. But you won't hear it from any of those people. None of the usual bootlickers. They're going to ignore this case, and they're going to amplify cases where black people are the perpetrators. But they won't talk about cases like this, where you have cops who are repeat offenders. God damn. That's for goddamn ridiculous. What the fuck is that, man? And by the way, this is actually hot sweet tea. I'm gonna just sip my damn tea. I'm gonna just sip my damn tea. I mean, what the fuck is this? It's a goddamn joke. It's a fucking joke. None of your bitches says they didn't have his favorite donut flavor. Yeah, maybe not. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine, man. This one made my head hurt. And then Nanya also says undereducated and overzealous. Absolutely. Let's move to the next story. This story was just, that was goddamn ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Unbelievable. So, this story is a wild one. I'm gonna call this one the ice cream man. So, because this prison guard was giving ice cream to inmates and having inappropriate sexual relationships. So this wild story comes from New York, and I call this story the ice cream man. And you may not understand the reasons why yet, but you'll get it in a second. Washington Heights prison guard fired for buying inmates ice cream lawsuit. Now you might be saying to yourself, it's not exactly a bad thing to buy inmates lawsuits. To buy. Now you might be saying to yourself, it's not exactly a bad thing to buy inmates ice cream. I mean, it's a nice thing to do. I mean, they're already locked up. But the subtext should provide you with more clarity as to the reasons why this ice cream might be of the forbidden fruit variety. Because the subtext says, the suit is the end result of a 2-year saga involving accusations of an inappropriate sexual relationship and buying ice cream. The ice cream man. Oh man, this story's gonna be a blast. Oh Lord, this is... A prison guard at Washington Heights' Edgecombe Residential Treatment Facility is suing after he was fired for buying ice cream cones for inmates. Robert Patterson filed a lawsuit against the Department of Corrections to get his job back. His firing came as he was serving a disciplinary period after allegations of a sexual relationship with a female inmate. He's demanded that he be reinstated with full back pay and benefits. So basically, he wanted a little bit of nookie. So he provided the creams and cookie. Yo! My man said, I'm gonna show you this chocolate flavor, girl. I'm gonna show you the vanilla, and you know you gonna get the freaking strawberry now. Yo, my man was going to inmates, handing out ice cream cones, getting some nookie for that cookie. Yo, listen, we have reached parody levels, folks. You remember that movie, God, what was that movie? Oh, you remember that movie called, do you remember that movie called Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence? Well, do you remember that one scene where the guy's like, want your cornbread? He was prepared to give her all the cornbread. And he was gonna give her a little bit of Rocky Road on the side, baby. Robert Patterson, you are to be known. Robert Patterson, you are known. Let me clear that up. Robert Patterson, you are hereby known as, and will forever be known as, the ice cream man. Yo! Yo! My man was handing out cones for that ass, yo. He was handing out cones for that ass, bro. I'm fucking dead, bro. I'm fucking dead, bro. I died, bro. Press F to revive me, y'all. Press F to revive me. The ice cream man. So I'm gonna do a little bit of an international story. I'm gonna cover a UK story because I want to give some people in the UK some love, man. I haven't given them a whole lot of love, and I want to change that, because again, cops are bastards even in British land. So let me go ahead and get into that, man. This story is pretty wild too. It's another story outside of Sarah Everett. Remember Sarah Everett in the UK, the woman who was kidnapped and raped and strangled by that police officer. Well, they're having a little bit of a problem now. All of a sudden, there's a bunch of cases being discovered where cops are doing this in the UK. And it's pretty crazy. So I'm going to cover this one. It's a brand new, fresh case that many of you have not heard of. But it's reached some pretty crazy levels. This story comes from the United Kingdom. After the Sarah Everett case, we've noticed that there's been a rash of police officers being caught doing perverted and disgusting things to women. And this headline from inews.co.uk demonstrates exactly what I mean by that. A police officer was fired after he sexually harassed a highly vulnerable domestic abuse victim. And the subtext is, the victim told police that the officer's actions made her, quote, paranoid, end quote, especially around male police officers. So this woman is a domestic abuse victim who tried to come to police for protection, because that makes sense for a victim to cling to institutions of authority. Institutions of authority, and especially those that are charged with protecting the general public. So imagine this woman's dismay when she thinks that she's going to run into heroes that's going to protect her. People who don't, the people who belong to the thin blue line. And now she has even more reasons to not trust men because a male police officer was sexually harassing her. And that officer was fired. And mind you, that officer's name is being withheld. So you don't know who this officer is. But all we know right now is that officer has been fired. It says here, a police officer has been sacked for sexually pursuing a domestic abuse victim while working on her case and therefore, quote, undermining the trust of women in the police service, end quote. So when this woman reached out for help, this man was trying to ingratiate himself into her life and try to get something from her, like the predator that he is. The officer was found to have made, quote, inappropriate contact, end quote, with the woman, bombarding her with more than 50 messages a day, which included asking her out for a drink, asking her to his home, and requesting hugs and kisses. More than 50 messages a day. Do you understand how psychotic that is? This isn't just stalking or harassing. Because I have a stalker. Trust me, this chick is crazy, and even she does not send me 50 messages a day. Imagine for a second you are calling the police for help because you are a victim of domestic violence. You are coming to this man for help. You are begging this man for help because you can't protect yourself from your damn abuser. And then this man out of nowhere starts sending you 50 messages a day, asking you out, asking you for hugs and kisses. Asking you for hugs and kisses, asking you to his home for presumably sex. And the way that you know this scumbag is a scumbag is that he then deleted messages in an attempt to cover his tracks, as well as accessing the force's computer system without a policing purpose, a tribunal found. So a police tribunal is what caught this guy. So I don't think Blue Lives Matter even in the UK, and trust me, believe it or not, they actually exist in the UK. I don't think they're going to cape up for this guy. And once again, the Sarah Everett case is the George Floyd of the UK because it changed everything. It put a public profile, a public microscope on police misconduct. And unfortunately, Sarah Everett had to die just like George Floyd to bring about change. But so often in human history, that's what is required. I may be a pagan, but I know who Jesus is. None of your biz says, how often does this happen every week around the world? I have no idea. I wish I knew. I can't tell you. So this story right here is wonderful. This story here is wonderful. I love this story too. This story is special. So this story comes from Florida. A Palm Beach police officer. Oops. So this story comes from Florida. Sorry, let me have a little sip real quick. So this story comes from Florida. A Palm Beach police officer has been fired for failing to report suspicion of child abuse and also violating the sick leave policy. The town of Palm Beach has fired a 25-year police veteran in September after an internal investigation. The town of Palm Beach has fired a 25-year police officer veteran in September after an internal investigation determined that he violated department policy and state law by failing to report the suspected sexual abuse of a child, according to documents provided to the Palm Beach Post. Officer Kevin Moraine also violated department policy by requesting sick time while he was on vacation in Georgia, the department said in documents announcing his firing. Town documents showed he was assigned to road patrol. The Palm Beach County Benevolent Association President John Kazenwan said in a prepared statement Wednesday that the officer has retained legal counsel. He did not comment further. I'm sorry about that name. That name was a doozy. It's Kazanjin. God damn, that's a name, boy. That's a hell of a name. So basically what we have here is a police officer who's been fired because there was reason to believe that a child was being sexually abused. And he wanted to go on vacation to go to Georgia, to have some Georgia peaches. And he wanted some time off. But he was not clear for that time off. Now, personally, I don't give a shit about that. I give a shit about him covering up the sexual abuse of a child because, you see, I'm personally invested in those kind of stories, given what the current Sheriff of the Year does in terms of covering up rapes and what the Sheriff of the Year did to me in terms of covering up my child molestation. So, Kevin Moraine is a piece of shit who should be behind bars because it is a crime to knowingly not say shit about the sexual abuse of a goddamn child. And my question is, why the fuck is this man not behind bars? And it shows you that there's one standard for you and a completely different standard for goddamn pigs. Because if you knew there was sexual abuse of a goddamn child and you don't report it, what do you think is going to happen to you? I guarantee you, More things are going to happen to you than you just being fired from your damn job. That's a guarantee. So why the fuck is he not behind bars? You see, and they wonder why we hate pigs, because pigs are pigs and pigs are fucking dirty. I like the animal, the pig, but I hate fucking murder pigs. And that's what cops are. Fucking murder pig trash. Unbelievable, man. Nunya says, it's why we need to film the police. Nunya says, there are 4 other people here listening in with me. Fucking crazy, yeah. Fucking crazy. Fucking wild, man. Just wild shit. Wild shit. Here's another one from Philadelphia, and Philly has been in the news a lot, man. Philly has been in the news a lot. As you can see, back-to-back stories, but you see the freaking date, right? I mean, let me show you the date. Well, it was published 5 hours ago, so that's 5 hours ago. So it's not like I'm just making it up. It's just, that's what it is. So we're gonna get into this story here from Philadelphia, because Philly has just been wilding out, man. This story comes from NBC Philadelphia. Charges reinstated against cop accused of pepper spraying protesters. And the subtext is, Richard Nicoletti is accused of spraying multiple protesters on June 1st, 2020, after they walked onto Interstate 676 in Center City, during widespread demonstrations following the death of George Floyd. Now, I'm going to tell you that the Philly Police Department has been in the news quite a bit for several reasons. This department is under a federal consent decree, and they have yet to bring themselves into compliance with that damn consent decree. And they're one of the worst police departments in the entire country when it comes to abusing the American people. And we're going to get into this article with yet another example. A judge has allowed criminal charges to be reinstated against a Philadelphia SWAT officer who was fired last year after pepper spraying kneeling protesters during mass racial justice demonstrations. So you had people who were protesters who were kneeling, and this man pepper sprayed them when they were just kneeling. Common Pleas Court Judge Crystal Bryant Powell reversed a decision by another judge to throw out charges against ex-SWAT officer Richard Paul Nicoletti. He once again faces 3 counts each of simple assault, recklessly endangering another person, and official oppression, as well as 1 count of possession of an instrument of crime. Now, see, that's what I like, because if cops are going to say that pepper spray, for example, if you were to take the pepper spray or their taser and you were to point it at them and fire it at them, they would say that's a freaking dangerous weapon, and that would justify them to shoot you. So I'm glad that this man's also being charged, that this man is also facing charges of possession of an instrument of a crime, because now cops can say that, because you can be charged if you misuse those equipment items as well. See, I like that. I like that. I love that. Nicoletti is accused of spraying multiple protesters on June 1st, 2020, after they walked onto Interstate 676 in Center City during widespread demonstrations following the death of George Floyd, a black man who died handcuffed after white Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck for nearly 9 minutes in May of last year. Nicoletti turned himself in and was suspended 30 days on June 26, 2020, and later fired. The officer sprayed 2 kneeling protesters, pulling one's goggles down before spraying her again, before, quote, violently, end quote, throwing a sitting protester onto his back and spraying him as well. The use of force against protesters in Philadelphia sparked national attention and later prompted an apology from both Philadelphia Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw and Mayor Jim Kenney. A woman named Catherine Miller said, quote, "That police officer walked towards us, and that's actually all I remember. I blacked out," end quote. And the reason why she blacked out because she was sprayed. And she was sprayed so much that she doesn't really remember a whole lot about. And she was sprayed so much that she does not even remember a whole lot about it. But I guarantee you, Blue Lives Matter and bootlickers will defend this cop too, because that's what Blue Lives Matter and bootlickers do. They love the cop peeing. It's just unbelievable. All right, so Starbright 1984, how you doing, Starbright? Welcome to the chat. I believe that I believe in treating all the ladies very, very well. Big fan of ladies. So, with that being said, Starbright 1984, you now have a moderator, because I believe in treating all ladies well. All right, Bomber Fox here says, I remember having to kick one of their gas canisters away from other protesters. Yeah. Bomber Fox, what's going on, brother? I love you. What's going on? Oh, man. Nunya says this has happened in the past with lawsuits filed, and it still happens. Absolutely. It's unbelievable. I've already covered crazy stories here, guys, and we're nowhere near done. I want you guys to see something real quick. I want you guys to see how many tabs I have open. Okay? Now, these three right here, you can kind of just... the three towards the top, you can kind of just... These three I'm here, I'm going to just close these out. I don't need them open. But most every other tab here is their story that I got to cover. Most every other tab here. Do you see all that? Starbright 1984 says, we know each other from Facebook. Yes, we do. I still believe in treating the ladies well, though, because you know I love to you know, some people say, you know, it's simping, but not to me. I think that men should be nice to women, and so I try to be. Now, this story is very interesting. It's an older story, but I want you to hear about this, right? This story is pretty wild. I want to just cover this one. Barnfox says, hey, it's been a while. Nice changes over the time. And Nunya says, and those are just the reported ones. Let's get into this story here, though. It's from April, but I want you guys to see this story because it's pretty wild. Ex-Chester County Sheriff is 13 convicted. This story comes from South Carolina. It's an older story, but I want you to know about it because it shows the reason why I do what I do. I started my journey into hating police officers based on the bad actions of the police officers from my home state of South Carolina. And now you're going to see why, because this comes from WSPA.com. Ex-Chester County Sheriff is 13th convicted in SC since 2010. You've had 13 sheriffs convicted of crimes since 2010. Do you understand what that averages out to in math? Do you understand what that means in terms of state population? South Carolina only has 5.1 million people in the entirety of the damn state, which means that there should be an even lower population of law enforcement officers, correct? So how is it you've having at least one sheriff and some change a year on average being convicted, not just arrested, not just charged, not just indicted, but convicted of crimes? 13 in 10 years. How is that possible? Make it make sense. These people criticize me. These people demonize me. These people tell you to not listen to me. How is it possible You have this many goddamn sheriffs who are trash sheriffs. And yet when I tell you that Leon Lott, who is the current U.S. Sheriff of the Year, but also in South Carolina, is another trash sheriff, you don't believe me, but yet you have a 13 sheriff conviction rate in 10 damn years. And yet you have reason to doubt me? Holy shit, what manner of evidence would it take to convince you then? A former South Carolina sheriff has been convicted in federal court of abusing his power and stealing money from government programs. Ex-Chester County Sheriff Alex Underwood is the 13th sheriff in South Carolina to be convicted of criminal charges since 2010. The 57-year-old Underwood could face years in prison when he is sentenced in a few months. A jury on Friday found him guilty of conspiracy, wire fraud, deprivation of rights, and federal program theft. The felony convictions also ends Underwood's 35 years in law enforcement, which included a long career as a state law enforcement division agent before being elected sheriff in Chester County in 2012. I sit here and I tell people the sheriffs in South Carolina are shit, and for some reason it doesn't matter how many of them are convicted and thrown behind bars, nobody fucking listens. What would it take to convince you? That's what I'm dealing with. What would it take? What would it take? What would it take? I just, help me out here. Nunya says, and those are just the reported ones. Bon Fox, I think, said, hey, it's been a while. Nice changes over the time. Absolutely. Nunya also says, cops are fallible humans. No excuse, just reality. Yeah, they are. But some people treat them like superheroes. And I think that's one of the biggest part of the goddamn problem. I mean, I can't make this shit up. You're seeing it the same way that I am. I'm not making it up. Are you seeing this shit? 13 sheriffs in 10 years? Convicted of crimes? That's goddamn ridiculous. There's no other way to describe this but goddamn ridiculous. What else do you say about this shit? God damn, I mean... So, let's move on. We got a kitty porn guy. And this is going to be disgusting. This story comes from Pennsylvania. A former Emporium K-9 officer sentenced after CP guilty plea. So this disgusting pig likes to watch the kitty videos and look at the kitty pics. And yet I guarantee you that bootlickers and people who support cops, they won't talk about this story. And the question becomes, why aren't they talking about stories like this with pedophile police officers? A former Emporium Borough police officer was served 3 to 10 years in a state correctional institution after pleading guilty to child pornography charges. In March, former Emporium K-9 officer Volker Kiefer was charged with multiple felony counts of child pornography after an investigation led police to discover images saved on his iPad. Originally, Kiefer told police that he accidentally viewed the CP. However, he admitted to viewing and saving images once police searched his phone, according to police. So when he was first caught, he said, oh, no, it was just a total accident, bro. Total accident. I did not mean to do that. And then they got his phone. They said, oh, wait. So it's on your iPad and your phone. Because we can believe it's a mistake on one device, but on both, see, that's what we call a pattern. And the way that we know that Kiefer did this is because he would go on to plead guilty to all charges in July. So yes, he did this because he said that he did. And that includes 4 counts of sexual abuse of children, which are felonies of the second degree relating to the possession of child pornography. So this disgusting pig will go away for only 3 to 10 years. He was a canine police officer and an absolute piece of shit. And since he pled guilty, I can officially say he's guilty of this shit. Are you comfortable with this man only getting 3 to 10 fucking years when he had CP on not only his iPad, but also on his cell phone? That's on multiple devices. I know people who have done decades for having it on one damn device. This motherfucker had it on 2 damn devices, okay? And the fact that he was a damn police officer, that should disgust you, and that should make everybody angry that he's only gonna serve 3 to 10 fucking years for a crime like this. And yet there are people who have simply been locked up for smoking a goddamn joint who have done more time than this shit. And it shows you there's one standard for citizens and a completely different standard for goddamn pigs. Unbelievable. 3 to 10 years for child porn. The man had child porn on his fucking computer. He's only gonna serve 3 to 10 goddamn years for it. Was a goddamn cop. See, I was telling people this shit for years and years and years, and nobody believed me when I was saying there's a problem with pedophilia in damn police officers. Nobody wanted to believe me. I said the reason why there's a problem, right, is because there's no accountability. There's no harsh punishments. So the way that they see it is, if I'm a freaking pedophile, I would go into freaking policing. Because I know that Blue Lives Matter is gonna protect, is gonna cape up for freaking me every day of the goddamn week. No matter what I've done. No matter what I've done. There are people right now who are still going at me for criticizing sheriffs in damn South Carolina, and you just saw that shit, that you had 13 sheriffs convicted of crimes in 10 years. If you had that happen, how the fuck do you still have people arguing with me in damn South Carolina? How is that possible? That shows you how these pedophiles and law enforcement, that shows you how they're getting away with it. It's Blue Lives Matter and these goddamn bootlickers. They protect them and call them so fucking hard to the point where it's even hard to discover these stories. That I've got a following based on my ability to find these stories, because most of you would have never even gotten them heard of it. You would have never even heard of it. You would have never even heard of it. That's why I do this shit. I do this shit to protect children, to protect victims, to protect whistleblowers, because I'm loud, I got a damn microscope, and I'm trying my best to grow on my channel. Also on my TikTok, I'm trying to grow. I need your help. You have seen what I cover on a daily basis. Everything, every story that you just saw, I recorded those as I'm actually live streaming this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn every one of those news stories into separate videos. That's how I do my work. I do it live right in front of you. So you know what I said. You know what I meant. You already know the story ahead of time. That shows you the freaking authenticity, because you see the news article that I'm seeing. You're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. I've been trying to get people's attention for years about this stuff. And because I'm black, and I've had a lot of people say a lot of racist shit, and because I talk about cops, it gets ignored. And now you see the price of that, right? Because it should be mainstream news that a cop did this and is only gonna get 3 to 10 goddamn years, right? That should be on the goddamn news, but you ain't heard shit about it, right? Until you watch my channel. Until you watch my channel. That's why I do what I do. So that these motherfuckers can't hide behind the cover of small media. They can't hide behind the cover of darkness. They can't hide and have stories buried. I'm not gonna let them. They will face accountability. Each and every goddamn pig in this goddamn country will face accountability. They fear nothing. I'm gonna give their asses to something to goddamn fear. I'm gonna blow the lid on this shit because no one's doing what I'm doing right now. No one's taking up every single fucking local story across the goddamn country, even internationally. It may take me a while to get to it, but goddamn it, I'll get to it. And I have gotten damn near almost 100 police officers across the country fired. Believe it or not. Because I do this shit. Because even the claims of misconduct I cover too. I don't let these pigs fucking slide, because if you do that, then the American people suffers. And I can't have that. I'm a multiple time combat veteran rated at 100% with the goddamn VA, and I was rated at 100% before age 30, which lets you know I'm fucking legit, baby. I care about the fucking American people, and that's why I do this shit, because fuck pigs. Fuck you abusing the goddamn American people. I did not sign that fucking dotted line for that shit. You will not abuse the American people. God damn it, I will give your sorry asses something to goddamn fear. Yes, you will fear me. Before my mother came down with goddamn dementia, she asked me a question. She said, Dion, you going after cops. Do you want to be respected or feared? I don't care about being respected by a bunch of goddamn pedophiles. So I want them to fucking fear me. Damn straight. Because fuck them, that's why. Another goddamn pig comes out of Boston. See, you would have never heard about this story, right? You would have never heard about this story. You would have never known about the story if channels like mine did not fucking exist. You would have never heard about the story if channels like mine didn't fucking exist. You would have never heard about it. You'd have never heard about it. But don't you worry. I'm gonna give these goddamn pigs something to fucking fear. I'm gonna give these pigs something to goddamn fear. Let's get into the story here. This story comes from Boston, Massachusetts. A probation officer who umpires Boston Little League games is now facing CP charges. Once again, another disgusting piece of shit cop who likes kiddie porn. A court probation officer who also serves as a Little League umpire was arraigned Friday on child exploitation and child pornography charges, Suffolk County District Attorney Rachel Rollins said. Michael O'Reilly of West Roxbury is charged with one count of possessing a child in a state of nudity and the dissemination of child pornography, and 2 counts of the possession of CP. He is a probation officer assigned to Brookline District Court and serves as an umpire and umpire coordinator for Parkway Little League in West Roxbury. O'Reilly appeared in court on Friday after posting $5,000 bail and being released from a Boston police station Thursday night. So let me get this straight. $5,000 bail for a man who had goddamn CP, who was a fucking umpire for Little League games. You only gave him a $5,000 bail? I know people, as a former correction officer, who's had higher goddamn bail for selling fucking weed. This man only had to pay $5,000 and he's back on the streets where he can have access to your damn child. Since O'Reilly appeared in court, Assistant District Attorney Anna Holding of District Attorney Rawls's Human Trafficking and Child Exploitation Unit did not request additional bail beyond the posted amount. Why? Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Why would you only charge this man $5,000 when he was trying to prey on fucking children? At Holding's request, Judge Kathleen Kofi ordered that O'Reilly stay away from and have no contact with any child under 18 and have GPS monitoring. And he is due back in court on December the 1st. What a piece of fucking shit. I mean, cops went and searched his fucking home and found the goddamn CP. And this man only has $5,000 bail and he's back on the street where he can come touch your fucking children. And I guarantee you, Blue Lives Matter will give me more shit for covering this goddamn case than the goddamn pedophile piece of shit cop who's out here preying on fucking children with goddamn CP. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Fucking unbelievable. It's hard for me to see this shit and not get fucking angry. How do you not get angry with this fucking shit, man? How do you not get animated with this fucking shit, dude? There's cops who are preying on fucking children. That's disgusting, bro. Like, do you think that America has the appropriate amount of outrage for this shit? Do you think that people in America are being pissed off enough about this shit? I just covered stories back to back. Back to fucking back. Do you hear me? Back to back about cops who had CP. God damn. Let's go back here to the comments. Byron Fox, let's see. Nunya says, North and South Carolina have been getting. Yeah. Also says a lot of bad cop reports. Yep. Byron Fox says, hell no. Starbright 1984 says, that's all for none of your business. Says, the only reason George Floyd's death is known is because people took out their cameras and posted it, filmed the police. Absolutely. Cosmic Squirrel says, hey mate, I missed the start. Shit. Byron Fox says, yep. Cosmic Squirrel says, put him under the jail. Absolutely. Fucking animals. Absolutely. Paul McLean, how you doing, sir? Welcome to the chat. Yeah, big up, bro. Thanks for you holding cops accountable. Absolutely, thank you, sir. By the way, Paul, you have a moderator in the chat now. You got a wrench, sir. Nunya says, ACAB, you must know about CC unit on YouTube who catches predators. Bet he caught a cop or two. Absolutely, I would love to find out. I would love to go talk to him. I would love to go reach out to him. I think I will. Nunya also says, hey, Cosmic Squirrel. Absolutely, what's going on, Cosmic Squirrel? And Cosmic Squirrel, what's up? And welcome to the chat. Let's go ahead and continue with a few more stories, guys. I want to ride my energy wave while it's going. I've covered several stories that are wild and out of control. Let's go get some more under my belt, man. I think I just covered this one. Yep, I covered that one. Because I was that one had me fucking angry. This one I want to look this up. I don't want to use this article here because they're trying to do a paywall or some kind of I want to see all right, this one is pretty wild. This one's pretty wild. This one's wild. All right, so let's get into this story here. This story comes from U.S. News, and story comes from Wisconsin. According to the DOJ, a Madison police officer who was shot was hurt by a fellow officer's bullets and not the bullets of a suspect. The Wisconsin Department of Justice says a Madison police officer was shot and injured by a fellow officer on October the 10th, not the armed man they were trying to arrest. So, I've said for years that police officers have zero accountability when it comes to firearm safety. And this story demonstrates exactly what I mean by this. Because this story is pretty wild. Apparently, the officer shot his own fellow officer. So let's get into this story a little bit deeper here. Madison, Wisconsin, Associated Press. The Wisconsin Department of Justice said Monday that a Madison police officer was shot and injured by a fellow police officer on October the 10th, not the armed man they were trying to arrest. The DOJ's Division of Criminal Investigation said in a statement that it's still reviewing evidence. Police initially said the officer was injured by an armed 19-year-old Pitchfork man who ran from the police as they were trying to arrest him on the popular State Street. I guess when police officers shoot each other, they are kind of taking a bite out of crime, aren't they? DCI says the man pointed a loaded handgun at the officers, but Madison officer Keith Brown fired a shot that hit his colleague. The injured officer has since been released from the hospital. Another officer sustained minor injuries during the arrest, the Wisconsin State Journal reported. The man later told an investigator that he ran from police because he didn't want to get caught with a gun while he was violating a curfew that was set in another case against him. His attorney said his client did not fire his gun or shoot anyone. He didn't, because the Wisconsin Department of Justice backed him up on that. Man, I tell you, even the cops are saying ACAB. Even the cops are saying, fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Listen, Blue Lives Matter is out there saying the criminals are going to shoot us, and I believe all cops are goddamn criminals, so I guess you are right, Blue Lives Matter. The criminals are shooting you. Lord, that was funny. Let's get to that story here. I wanted to cover this story, but I gotta go and this one. Another pedo cop, another disgusting cop. So let's get into this story here. This story comes from ABC 57. South Bend police officer placed on unpaid leave after arrest because he had an inappropriate relationship with a 16-year-old. That's why he's on unpaid leave, and that's why he's been arrested. Another disgusting piece of shit police officer who decided to prey on children. And I guarantee you that Blue Lives Matter will give me more shit about covering this case than the police officer who is a disgusting child predator. A South Bend police officer who is facing multiple charges for allegedly having an inappropriate relationship with a 16-year-old has been placed on unpaid administrative leave. Police Chief Scott Ruszkowski asked the Board of Public Safety to put Timothy Barber on unpaid leave pending the outcome of the trial. The request was granted at the meeting Wednesday morning. So, once again, I cover these stories on the regular, and you will notice that Blue Lives Matter and all the bootlickers who just gaslight and talk shit in my comment sections, you will notice that they never comment on these stories. And the question becomes, why? Why are they not saying anything when it comes to these stories? And I can tell you why. Because they have no problems with pedophile police officers. They have no problem with police officers who rape women. They have no problem with police officers who kill people. They have an issue when you talk shit about police officers. Do you understand what I'm actually telling you? I'm telling you that Blue Lives Matter and people who defend police officers and conveniently ignore stories like this, even though you go out of your way to show the actual context of the story, they don't talk about it because they're okay with it. A police officer could rape their damn daughter right now and they wouldn't give a shit, because guess what? they'll just say, we'll just take her to court. They could walk into their daughter's room right now with a freaking cop raping their daughter right now, and they wouldn't do shit because someone with a badge was doing the goddamn raping. Because if that wasn't the case, then please explain to me, why the fuck is it that when you go to Brandon Tatum or Donut Operator or Kenneth Owens or Anthony Bryan Logan or Steven Crowder or any other right-wing trash band out there, why is it that whenever you go to their channels, you never see stories like this? Why is that? They talk so much about pedophiles, right? But they don't talk about the freaking cops, right? And that's so weird, right? Don't you find that to be so fucking weird? I do. It's fucking unusual, man. It's just fucking weird. Why are they not talking about it? Don't you find that strange? Don't you find that fucking unusual? Doesn't that make it go, wait, hold on. So you're going at this guy for posting a YouTube video or a TikTok video. This guy was fucking a 16-year-old girl, and you say nothing? You... Am I the one crazy here? You know, I mean, what the fuck is this? What is this? But I guarantee you, they'll give me more shit than the piece of shit goddamn cops who's out here raping damn kids. Guarantee you. Listen, it's like what Charles Barkley said. It's guaranteed. 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 That was the story that I covered recently. Now, I think that's going to be the conclusion of the podcast, guys. It was great hanging out with you guys tonight. Listen, I do this podcast. I'm going to do it probably at least twice a week. I'm going to try to. I want to keep my videos going up, so I'm going to be doing this podcast a lot more often. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. It was a blast, and you kind of see the kind of stories that I covered. So let's go back to the comment section before we actually end. Cosmic Squirrel says, whoops. Also says, yeah, if you get into criminal charges, FOA, it's be even more rank. Freedom of information. Cosmic Squirrel says, dirty filth. And Cosmic Squirrel says, Tatum defends all cops. He's fucked in the head. And none of your business says, true squirrel. Absolutely. Hey guys, thank you for joining me. Hey, be safe out there. Give me a thumbs up, share the content, leave a comment. Horns up. Peace out. Good night and good luck.